Hey guys, and welcome to the Parrott Bros. Today we're going to do a video on finally fitting the shifter. I've managed to rope one of my friends in, who's hiding off the camera right now. And we're going to fit this shifter on the TT. We're going to go through all of the steps. We're not going to focus on massive detail on each step, but we'll show you step by step how it goes through, how to fit it, how it feels, and anything we kind of find along the way. So let's get stuck into it. Right, so starting with the underneath of the car, you have to take the exhaust off. You'll also need to take off the cat section. Now, if you have an original catalytic converter or an original sort of downpipe, if it's been there a very long time, obviously you don't need to remove the downpipe, you only need to remove the cat section. However, you will find that the bolts usually are non-existent and the heads are sort of some sort of round, funny 20-sided shape thing where someone's either tried to take it off before or the metal that was on there is no longer on there, and then you have this blob of what used to be a nut. So do allow extra time for that. Definitely worth checking prior to starting. Once you've taken the exhaust system off from the downpipe back, that will expose the prop shaft. You're going to need to take off the heat shield, which is here. Then we're going to come to taking off the prop because we need to get it out of the way because it sits literally right above it right there. So this is what we're getting involved with now. There's 3 bolts in the donut at both ends, which I will show you in a minute. They're an M12 spline. Aaron? We're just checking now. I'll put it down in the video. And then once we've got the prop off, then I can show you what we're doing next. M10 spline. Okay, so as you can see here, this is it with the prop removed. Now, we haven't actually taken it out of the front. All we've done is undone it so that we can just push it over to one side, cable tied it out the back, out the way, just so that this can allow this to come down nice and straight, because obviously the new one is a lot taller, and obviously we don't want to scratch it trying to get it in an angle, and this just makes it a lot easier. Now, normally this will have a cover, which we've removed carefully, of course. So it has this metal cover. Usually this is what you'll see. It'll be over there like that. You have to prise that down. Obviously we won't be using it again, so you can be as careful or as not careful as you'd like. And once you've done that, this is what you'll see. Now, you've got 2 selector cables. These are very straightforward to remove. For reference, I would definitely take a picture prior to doing it because you obviously don't want to get it wrong. One is noticeably longer than the other. There we go. And then all they have is a little circlip which you just pull the center out and pull it down, and then they'll pop off. And then on the outside here, you can see my finger, there is a clip, and all you do is put your screwdriver in it, twist it, and then the horseshoe clip will pop down both, and then it will allow you to take the cables out. Once that is done, all you're left with is 2 fixings from below, and then you have 2 fixings at this side, which you can just see the bottom of the bolt there. And they're your 4 fixings holding it in. So it's actually relatively straightforward, apart from obviously the fact that you're going to have to take the exhaust off, the heat shield off, the prop off, and then take all of this apart. It's not actually that bad. It's more time consuming than particularly hard. I would say probably the hardest part of this job is obviously getting everything off and having to actually set up the gearing on the new one. But as you can see, like I said, we're going to pop these 2 off, take these clips out, get them out of the way, then take these 2 horseshoe clips off, pull them out, and then this is ready to be removed. So relatively straightforward. Like I said before, take a photo just so you know which one is in which position, because you don't want to get it around the wrong way, because you've got to put it in, put it all back together, and then not have any gearing. What we'll probably do, and what I would recommend to most, is to obviously get this swapped over and then try and do your gears once you've got this mounted in prior to putting everything back up, because yeah, you'll understand why. So yeah, we'll get this removed and then I'll come back to you. Okay, so we've got to the point now where we've got the shifter removed, and we're just going to install the new one. I'll just lift it up now. Right, so here we go. So now you got 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. Oh, and reverse. Oh, reverse fell out. Hello. So yeah, we've got the old shifter removed. It did have 2 really strange sort of clips which were mounted here and here, and all you had to do is basically just push the tabs in, and then it just allowed it to drop out. The 2 bolts at the front were there. They had 2 nuts, 2 30mm nuts on them there, and then at the back there was 2 bolts going downwards, which were down there, and that was literally all that holds the shifter on. As you can see now, this is completely removed. We'll lift the new one up into place like so. Oh, we have a cable issue, so we shall assess this and come back to it. But yeah, we'll get it lifted in, and then I'll explain to you how we got it done. Okay, so as you can see, we've got the shift tower all fitted now. Now, there was a few minor adjustments that we had to make. So the first two fixings that you have originally in the front were still perfectly fine. They fitted okay. The rear ones used to be in a bracket that went across here. Now, as you can see, that means it wouldn't have allowed it. Plus, there's nothing to bolt to. So they actually have two fixings here under the back. So what you have to do is, we fitted the front ones, pushed it up, bolted it in just so it stayed there, and got a paint pen and marked them from underneath and drilled them from underneath, and that bolts in, and now that's solid. The other adjustments we had to make was down here. We had to notch a little bit out of the tunnel just to be able to get up this bracket here, because it wouldn't allow you to get it up into the car. And when you go into certain gears, and when you push down to the side, it would just foul on it there. So we had to take that off, which means we also had to take a small amount of material off of this metal bracket down the side there. Also had to cut it out of the front. We took a strip off across there where these bolts would normally be. But apart from that, it's all pretty much the same. Oh, and also you'll have to have, normally you have a round cover here, which is where you have your sort of shift gaiter and stuff. You have to remove we don't have to remove these two front tabs, but you may as well, because you can't get your shifter on at the front, so it's semi-pointless having it there. What I'm going to do is we're going to get it fitted, get it running, get used to it driving with this. Then I'm going to look at what I can do. Obviously, the center console will fit over the top. We can get this back in. Excuse me. We can fit the center console back in, and then it's just a case of having to try and work out what to do with this afterwards. So that's going to be the fun of it. But I'll just show you the underneath now. Okay, so now we're under the car. This is the look you have. Pretty much exactly the same as the original. You've got the two clips here that just retain those in. And then you've got the two balls. This one obviously sits on there. And then there's a clip retaining this one on, which you can't see around the corner. And then all this will have is this has a normal cover that goes over the top to cover it, obviously stop it getting dirty. But besides that, fitting is pretty much the same. That's it, bolted in, done. So let me show you quickly. Yeah, so there's where we drilled the holes to put the bolts in from above, and there's the two bolts going upwards from below. So fitting relatively similar, not particularly straightforward, but not a horrendous job, especially if you have access 6 foot off the ground, but it can be done on the floor, just allow a little bit more time. Okay, and there you have it. So it is completely fitted. The only thing I haven't done, which I'm going to do in a later video, just because we run out of time, was to redo the center console. Now the other reason I'm leaving it out is because I want to change my interior. I've got a color-coded one of these, color-coded seats, all new paneling, so it just makes sense to wait, get it all done all at the same time when I've got a bit of time, because this is going to require some trimming, a little bit of fettling, and I'm going to try and trim this front bracket, the round part where you'd normally mount the ring and everything. It won't all go on there because it will obviously be hitting this, but I'll do my best to get it on, plus we've got to get the angles on and everything. But the hardest part, like I said at the beginning, the hardest part is getting this set up. Now I'll take some photos and I'll put them in the video just so you can see how they're set up with the grub screws and how they're in there, because it has like stops. You put stops in just so you can lift it to get the reverse, and it has certain things like that, and that is by far the hardest part. So I'll take a picture just so you can see, so hopefully your setup will be a little bit better, because Aaron has already set them up for me because he set his one up, so he's a pro at them. So it saves me a job anyway. But yeah, I'll get loads of photos. I'll put a load of other stuff in. If you're interested in shifters but don't want to go all out on something like this, I'll put a link up in the corner now for the video that we did on short shifters and other variants and things you can buy that are a lot less money and aren't as quite involved as this. But besides that, guys, like I said, have a look in the playlist. I think it's 100 odd videos now on TTs, so plenty to watch, plenty to keep you busy, especially if it's raining. If you want to get yourself any merch, we're still doing the stickers, the key rings, the hats, and there'll be some t-shirts coming as well. So just drop us a message, dom@theparrottbros.co.uk. If you're on Instagram or Facebook, give us a follow at The Parrott Bros. And until next time, we'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.